Hi, my name is Tom Cassidy. I'm the advisor to the Learner's Voice program at the Qatar Foundation in Qatar. But I'm actually also from Boston, and I'm retired 3 years from Harvard University, where I spent almost 25 years in the School of Education, the School of the Center for International Development. And I'm working with Hong here in Qatar, and we've had so many interesting conversations and discussions. And one of the things I most wanted to say to the learners here in the Learner's Voice program, but I think it's important for many students to hear, is that most people want to go to Harvard University or Georgetown or Yale or Stanford, one of these big name universities. It's really not necessary. And in fact, if we just came from a conference here in Doha, and there were many leaders from all over the world at this conference, thought leaders and political leaders and education leaders and leaders of many of the big international agencies. And if you asked each of them where they went to university, most of them didn't go to Harvard or Stanford or Yale or one of the big name universities. Many of them began in universities, small and big, in all parts of the United States and all parts of the world. And I always get troubled when students are all wanting to go to one of the big name universities and thinking that because they, for one reason or another, do not get accepted or could not get accepted to one of these big universities, they think somehow they're second-rate citizens. And this is just not the case. Most of the people leading the big organizations of the world, the countries of the world, didn't attend these, or didn't start out in these institutions. Some of them did, but not all of them. And I think it's really important to keep in mind it's not where you begin, it's where you end up. It's not what degree you got from where, but what you do with that degree. That's the important thing in the end. And there are many people who have many certificates and degrees from wonderful places who haven't done great things with those degrees and certificates. And on the contrary, there are people who began in the most humble of beginnings and in second and third and fourth level colleges and universities that are now leading some of the biggest organizations in the world. And so really it's important to keep in mind it's where you finish, it's what you do with your degree that is the most important thing. For my own case, I could not have been accepted to Harvard University when I was leaving high school and going into college. I had the intelligence to get accepted, but I didn't have the family wherewithal or resources. No one really knew how to help me even apply to Harvard. I'm being the first person in my family to go to university. And so I went to Northeastern University to begin, which is now a very good university in Boston. But when I wanted to go, it was not the university it is today. It was a university where you could go to school for one semester and then work for one semester. And so you could make money and pay for your college. And I had to pay for my own college. I'm the eldest son of a family of 10 children. And I did what I had to do. I went to Northeastern, I worked and I studied and I paid for my own education. I think my parents, in the total cost of my education, they gave me $500, which may seem like a lot of money to some people, but when the college costs $10,000, it's not very much. And so the rest was on me. I finished my education at the University of North Carolina, and I finished there because I met some wonderful people along the way that helped me and showed me a different place. The University of North Carolina at Charlotte, which when I went there in the 1970s was not a great university, but it gave me a great start. It gave me a very great start. And since graduating from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, I've been all over the world. I took my degree, and my wife and I worked with American students mostly and traveling into other countries, making very little money but having an incredible experience. That experience led me back to the United States, where I then was able to get into Harvard University for my master's. And I got in because of this experience that I had, that Harvard was interested in my grades, but also my experience. So I took my master's and then my doctorate from Harvard. And I was quite lucky to get the doctorate because I was in getting my master's when the first computers came out. And it's only because I was there then and I was good at computers that I was asked to stay on and finish my doctorate. And I then stayed after that for 24 years at Harvard University. And so you never know where the path will take you. You have to keep your mind open, use the education you are fortunate enough to get, never feel second rate about it. You take what you have and you take it to the next step and you keep moving. And as I said from the beginning, again, it's where you end up, not where you begin.